Alrighty, here we are, workout 3, and I hope you're enjoying them so far. I had some great comments from a few people. It's wonderful to see someone like a girl called Joan who used to ride with us here, moved to Girona, and real challenges there, of course. Can't go outside at all to ride your bike. So let's enjoy the time we have right now, hoping we don't get there in this difficult time. But Joan is out on her terrace, riding at 4 o'clock in the morning for us. And thanks, Joan, for sharing your workouts. She's been sending me pieces of her training on her veranda there. These things certainly have escalated, and hoping that we can all be respectful, seeing some wonderful posts from people about riding alone. And I think we have to continue to do that and not put our actual outside time in jeopardy, because it's so hard once we're out there to remember, keep out of everybody's way. I know in some of the big densely populated cities are having a really hard time, everybody out on their bikes in these parks where normally there's lots of room to ride, but now there's so many people, so compacted, it's almost like being on a massive group ride with a bunch of strangers. So that's a tough one for sure. London, I think, was where I heard that was happening. So, but we are on our trainers again, and I'm assuming you've put in a little bit of time already, turning the legs over, getting your music set up. We do have these accompanied by Spotify lists, and they're my choice, what I would be playing for the class, if this were actually a class with everyone in the room. But by all means, you prefer your own mix. It's always hard to come up with things everyone likes anyway. But I just try and get something that accompanies the effort level, cadence of the workout. So last bit of warm up. Let's just, first of all, sit up. Think about relaxing everything, okay? Hands on handlebars. Whether you're a mountain biker or a road rider, I've had some people, I know these look like road bikes, but our workouts are gonna help you on the mountain bike 100%. And that's where I come from, time trial and mountain bike. So love road riding as well, but all of these, you'll see some of the workouts where you might feel it's more applicable to what you're doing on the mountain bike than on the road. Some of the cadences a little different, but the workout I'm gonna do today is absolutely golden, whether you're a dirt rider or a road rider, gravel rider, whatever. We're gonna do some strength efforts. We're gonna do some lower cadence, bigger gear. Have it on the board behind me, but I'll step you through it. And so just to finish off our warm-up, first thing we're gonna do, we're at an easy effort. I talked about relating to the efforts. I talked about perceived effort. And the first little bit here, I'm gonna have you focus on being at about a 5 out of 10 or 50% if you know your watts using a power meter. So this is in your aerobic zone. This is where you're comfortably clearing lactic acid as it starts to nudge its way in, but not getting a hold of you. So I'm at 100 cadence right now. I'm gonna drop my cadence to 90. So 90, and 90 for most of you is probably where you're around your most efficient. 90 to 100 cadence. So bringing it down, and as I get towards 90, just gonna bring my gear up a little bit so that I'm back at that 50% number. That's what I'm seeing in watts, okay? Nudge it off a little bit more. And I just wanna start thinking while we're in an easy gear, before we're doing our hard efforts, I wanna think about some of the things you can focus on while you're riding. Relax face, relax shoulders, try to avoid this. Everything we do indoors should really be simulating what you want to do outdoors. So right now, just thinking about getting an even rhythm, 5 out of 10, 50%, and at a 90 cadence. I'm gonna hang out here another 10 to 15 seconds, and then I'm gonna drop the cadence to 80. So that's becoming more of a crisp climbing cadence, or sometimes when you're in rough terrain, it actually helps you absorb the bumps, maintain nice traction, and that doesn't matter whether you're on a road wheel, gravel wheel, mountain bike wheel. You want to be thinking about keeping contact with the ground, not bouncing around. Tiny little pedal strokes, high cadence, and you're going to be not getting through that sort of terrain as efficiently as you could. So we're going to drop it down now to 80 cadence, bring it down, dropping the leg speed. Again, thinking about recruiting some more muscles now, big butt muscles, hamstrings, and just settle into it. The core is the center of our pedal stroke, or the base of our pedal stroke. Again, nice and relaxed. As the effort feels like it's coming down, just bring the gear up a little bit so that you're back at that 50%. Just gonna do this a couple more times, and then we're gonna get right into our 24-minute piece. All right, drop my cadence down. Okay, 80, bringing it down. And then let's think about the next thing we want to think about here. How about just bottom half of our body? Let those ankles move a little bit, pulling through nicely on the bottom of the pedal stroke. We've done our skills and drills video you can also refer to get some of these to practice. But basically the idea being the downstroke is easy, punching down, gravity helps, but you want to be pulling along the bottom and back up around the back of the circle. Okay, let your ankles help you. Nice and positive through the pedals. And we'll just take 30 more seconds here. Then we're going to drop it down another 10 RPM. Good, just thinking about that connection to the pedal, pulling through, nice and positive, nice and smooth. One of the things we need to strive for is getting that circle where you have a nice even pressure all the way around the pedal stroke. All right, dropping it to 70, bringing it down, 70. As we drop the cadence on this bike or on any bike, if you don't change the gear, your power output's going to be less. So we're just getting a little bit of a break, and we're bringing it back up again. So we're back at that 5 out of 10, 50%. Good, settle into that. Another good minute, then we'll do our one last drop. In the drills, the skills and drills, we talk about a few different things. Getting even pressure, both sides of the pedals, your left leg, your right leg. So that takes some practice. Try and feel that. Focus on one leg, focus on the other, both of them being smooth, and then try and keep a relaxed turnover as we're there. Another 30 seconds. Hold on to this. Just that nice 80 cadence. Oh, it's a sweaty one in here today. Yikes. Wait till the effort comes up. Okay, we're going to drop that cadence again. We're going to go down to 60. And again, this is where you really feel recruitment of bigger muscles. You want that core nice and strong and engaged, because as we drop our cadence in 2, 1, 60 RPM, find that cadence, and then bring the gear up again a little bit. A little bit more gear, 5 out of 10. Relaxed upper body. Someone heard me, I got a fan now. Good, and at 60 cadence, let's just hold it here. So all of this is being done at a relatively easy output, being that aerobic 5 out of 10 or 50%. We work from a max aerobic power platform, so I refer to percentages that also, again, we'll explain in another video if you want to actually be testing for your numbers. All right, holding on to that, got that 5 out of 10 effort. All right, now I'm going to have you bring up a little bit more gear. I want a nice Steady, even fluid pedal stroke as you're bringing some more gear into it. And then from there, we'll be launched and ready to go for our big, harder efforts. So 60 cadence, and bring the gear up. If you know your 60% number, now we're getting to where it's a little bit harder to put words together, but you can still speak in a sentence. 6 out of 10, 60% at that 60 cadence. All right? Core engaged. Don't let yourself get all tight. Relax. Okay? You want to be able to test whether you are at around your 60%. Try saying a few words to someone around you. And hold on to it right here. The next increase we're going to make, and when we're doing this, I want you to be really careful not to start falling over the bike. People do this as more gear comes into it. We want you to be solid, moving forward. Everything we're doing is just to do it better on the bike. Very hard to do some of this structured stuff when you're outside. So let's think about this as a little bonus, getting ourselves some extra homework time. Okay? We're going to increase the gear now. Somewhere around that 7 out of 10, 70%, for those of you who know your number. Bringing your gear up in 3, 2, and 1. All right? Starting to get to be a bigger push. You can feel the weight behind your circles increasing as we get into that bigger gear. I'm letting my ankles move a little bit more to help me, pulling through on the bottom of the pedal stroke. Right here. Hold on to it. We're going to do one more increase after this. Good. From the top to the bottom. Relax. Shoulders, core, and nice smooth pedal strokes. Just feathering your way around that whole circle. Maximum use of every 360 degrees. One more gear increase. Okay, coming up. Try and bring it right up to your 8 out of 10 number. We'll just touch it. We don't want to build too much lactic acid, but we want to feel it because we're going to be doing the workout at that. All right, 2, 1, bring that gear up. Last little bit. Less than a minute. Let's hold on to it right here. Wind it up. Smooth. Awesome. Pulling through on the bottom of that stroke. 30 more seconds to go. Good. Remember to breathe. Stay open. Hand position varies. What people like to do. I ride on the tops, on the hoods a lot. I ride on the tops a lot as well. Your choice. Play around with that. 15 seconds. Okay? Remember to breathe. Looking ahead. You can close your eyes for a few seconds and just feel that you're reaching around the perimeter of that circle. All right, in 5, 3, 2, and 1. Back off the gear. Nice little bit of flushing recovery in a comfortable gear. Good. So I'm talking about the different disciplines to give you an idea. One of my coaches many years ago actually was talking about at a high level, World Cup racer kind of thing, who do you think would have the better pedal stroke, more consistent pedal stroke? And one theory, and some of the testing has shown, that quite often high-level mountain bikers will have the most efficient pedal stroke, the cleanest pedal stroke. And that comes from having to ride on uneven terrain, challenging terrain, shifting surfaces, all of that. One of the things you learn as a mountain biker, as a cyclocross rider, and now gravel riders, is smooth circle. You're on a steep pitch of gravel, maybe little water bar kind of things, and you've really, really got to maintain traction over your rear wheel and smooth, right? Pulling around, pulling around. I actually had one last mountain bike rides, I guess it might be, last week, and we ended up in snow. That's a really good reminder, because if you're punching down at all on snow, or you're not pulling through and keeping that nice smooth circle, you're just gonna keep digging into it and falling off. Likewise, heavy on the bars, right? You're heavy on the bars, your front wheel can't maintain its movement, its flow, and so you'll end up wiggling around and losing your wheels under you. So good things to think about, and don't underestimate, especially while we can ride. Seen some pretty funny things actually. People riding around their houses, practicing skills. One of our race team girls actually today, riding in and out of the house, up the steps, down the steps, around the kitchen on her road bike. All of those things, really valuable. But we used to do grass hill repeats actually on road bikes when I was still racing road bikes, and really, really good for your strength, your pedal stroke, and your ability to turn over a nice smooth circle when you're compromised in traction, not just rely on stomping down on the pedals, which is what we tend to get doing indoors if we don't think about it, right? So I want you to focus on some of these elements. So now, 24 minutes straight through, and we're focusing on strength. What we did in the warm-up, last part of the warm-up, that's what we're gonna be doing. So the board's a little bit far away from me, but I have cheat notes too. And we're going to be riding at that low cadence that we finished off at, but instead of the easiest gear, we're gonna be going into pretty challenging, 8 out of 10, 85% or more is the guideline. If you haven't been doing a lot of this training for a while, keep more towards the 8 out of 10. You'll find that these efforts at a low cadence are quite different than when we're doing this at a higher cadence, a lot of momentum. And we saw that when we're doing cadence efficiency. This is the other end of the spectrum. Now we're using a lot of muscle recruitment, strength, and much less momentum. So we're gonna lock into a 60 cadence. So it's not the lowest end of doing strength efforts, but think of it as squats if you want. Squats on the bike, 60 a minute, okay? We're gonna do 4 minutes at our 85% or more, 8 out of 10 or more, depending on where you're at in your training. Then we're gonna have a 2-minute break at 60%, 6 out of 10, not sitting up like this, okay? So half the time of the effort is in active recovery. Back to 4 minutes, 2 minutes active recovery after that, 3 minutes at that output, 1.5 minutes active recovery, repeat that, 2, and then 1. Okay, so 2 4-minute, 60 RPM efforts, 2 3-minute, 8 out of 10, 60 RPM efforts, and then 1 2-minute at the end. In between each, half the time recovery, active recovery, 60%. Any questions? No? Okay, good. We're ready to go. Okay. I told you we have some Spotify lists. There's a good section, I think starts about song 5 or so, on the strength list, where you can find something that'll have a lower cadence and you'll feel will maybe help push you along and turn me down. And then if it's not your taste, there's lots more further on. There's a bunch of different genres on there, but it's a recommendation what I would play. Get me turning the pedals, and so see if it works for you. Okay, we're gonna go into this first one. When I say first one, it's the beginning of 24 minutes. So strength is our focus. It's not an efficient cadence. It's gonna feel, to a lot of you, a cadence you're quite happy with. So let's start bringing it down right now. You have 20 seconds. You're gonna like the feeling of pushing a big gear around. If high leg speed is not your happy place, 60 cadence, you're going in 15 seconds. Have a drink of water. Let's think about a good steep pitch, or we're on a less of a steep pitch in a big gear. All right, There you go, 60 cadence. Bring that gear up. First 4 minutes. In 2, 1, settle in. As you bring the rest of the gear in, remember your form. Okay, shoulders are relaxed. I do want you to focus on riding with your eyes up, but at the same time, thinking about that pedal stroke in the beginning, if you want to close your eyes just for a few seconds, try and feel yourself smooth and positive, feathering the pedals around, then that's fine. I'll give you cues. I like to think about 30-second increments. I count a lot. I have lots of little ways that I try and get through my efforts, but you're getting close to a minute already. How's that? Think about the ankles, open, and the chest. All right, big turnover now. Good. You're just over a minute. 3 minutes to go. Good job. I came from tending to like mashing big gears. This is always a place that was more familiar to me. And it is an important part of your whole cycling development, is to be able to push a gear around, work out what that is for you. We see lots of people following trends, maybe whatever one of the big names at the top of the circuit is doing, and it's not going to work for everybody, especially if you don't have a background, but we want to explore what we can do individually. All right, you're halfway through, just coming up on halfway now. Really good. Good. That whole core concept. I started coaching, I was really surprised. People have difficulty in the beginning. Not surprised, reminded. People have difficulty in the beginning grabbing a bottle, turning to look around, whatever it is. It's a lot to do with this being strong and engaged. Getting close to 3 minutes now. Hold on to that 60 cadence. Getting stronger. It's one of our mantras, I think. I'm busy getting stronger. Hold on to that gear. I'm just going with 8 out of 10 for right now. 85%. Guideline, and as you get more comfortable with this, add a little bit more wattage, a little bit more gear. Less than a minute to go. 1. Circles. Pulling through on the bottom of the pedal stroke, urging it around. I'm gonna give you one last cue, 30 seconds to go. And then you're gonna go right to a 2-minute active recovery. This is not sitting up, which means you want to get on it, get the most out of it, teaching your body to take it in and use it to get ready for the next little piece. Next piece is 4 minutes as well, right? Just about there, 10 seconds. 1. Keep it strong, keep it positive. Last little countdown. 3, 2, reach down, a little easier gear, back it off, recover, recover, really important. The most efficient cadence you feel that you can use right now, and 60%. So find that cadence, 6 out of 10, and opt for as much cadence as you can without being inefficient. Get that recovery. It's hard. That's 30 seconds, a little bit more. On, smooth. On, own this. I'm a little bit over 100 cadence. This is where I tend to feel I get the best recovery If it's a little bit high for you, drop it back to 90. As long as you can be around that 6 out of 10 effort. Got 1 more minute like this. These muscular efforts, different from when we're high cadence, high cardiovascular output. We can recover. It's different, right? The legs hurt, but you don't feel the same whole body kind of on the limit feeling. 30 seconds. I'm gonna start thinking about dropping my cadence pretty soon. Crank up another tune that has a good kind of low cadence beat. If you want to do that, we're gonna go in just under 15 seconds, 60 cadence, bringing it down, and then I'll start adding my gear. Again, nice and engaged, strong through the feet. In 3, 2, 1, bring that gear in and settle in. Good, bit of a reset. It's a changing, it's an adaptation when you're going into a steep pitch again. One of the things I like to encourage when I'm teaching people concepts outside is learning, because of that exact feature where you go into a steep hill and you feel like you kind of just go, learning to carry momentum and use the terrain so that when you go into those, you actually can carry some speed and maybe not have to pedal quite as quickly as if you're when you're carrying some momentum. That's your first minute. First minute. Big gear now. Lock back into that rhythm. This isn't just about the strength piece. And like I said, we are on either a steep incline or lesser incline in a really big gear. However you want to think of it. Our coach used to send us out to do big gear efforts, which were kind of like big chain ring, 6 minutes or so, hard, 5% incline. Good. We're just about halfway. I keep getting a little cranked up in my cadence here, trying not to get towards 70. All right. Good. Open up here. Maybe play around with your hand position. Helps a lot. And on the tops, I like to ride longer pieces on the tops. I see some people like to ride down here a lot. If you're comfortable with it, but it does tend to fold you over a little bit climbing, and a lot of good climbing is about being open. Feel like you're lifting yourself up the hill. Good, right here now, right here. Awesome job. You got 30 seconds. You're gonna get that active recovery again. This time, make sure you take a drink. Let's get through just under 30 seconds. On, move the ankles, up and over, up and over. Coming into our last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds. Good job. Stay with it now. Right through into the false flat, where we're gonna back off the gear and somewhere over 90 cadence. 2, 1, get on it. Get that recovery. 2 minutes. Find your cadence where you feel that you most efficiently recover, and say to yourself, recover, recover. You're at 6 out of 10. Coming off an effort, it's really hard to talk here. Whereas if we were just doing this, like at the beginning, you'd find it quite easy to put words together. Good. As soon as you feel you can, let's have a drink. All right? Remember to drink One more minute like this. The other thing I want you guys to think about doing, especially if you're not used to riding indoors a lot, you might find yourself feeling locked into a position. Just take the time, move around a little bit. Don't wait for me to cue you all the time. Changes up the muscle groups, and then back down. All right, we're still 6 out of 10. We're still at a nice blushing kind of cadence. That means somewhere over 90. You're going again. This one's 3 minutes. So it's starting to decrease in length, but also the recoveries are going to decrease a bit. All right, bring it down. 60 cadence again. Get yourself ready. Building strength here. Building your ability to push over hard terrain. If that's what you're doing on a mountain bike. Building your ability to use bigger gears on an attack. And gear up. 3 minutes from now. Settle in. Come on, guys. Up, up. Steady. Smooth. Nicely done. We keep having segments of strength in our training format over the months. Right now, giving you these videos, I'm trying to give you some workouts to work from, get all the things that you need, and then we put it into a proper program. Good, stay on that. That's 1 minute done. 2 minutes. Another little reminder to relax. Awesome job. Come on, push pull. Circles. If you can't feel your hamstrings, you're probably not in quite as big a gear as you could be to do this. Remember, we're trying to build some strength. We're trying to apply those squats to a pedal stroke. Just over 1.5 minutes. Keep it going. Awesome job. A little wipe of the face. Try and keep yourself as cool as you can. I have fans here. It's important. Push, push. We've got less than a minute, or sorry, just over a minute. Good. Keep it going, keep committed. If you don't like pushing big gears, this is your chance to just learn a little bit more ability to hold a gear, a little bit more strength. If this is what you're really good at, then you're probably enjoying having a workout where you can do that. We're at 8 out of 10, a little bit more, hopefully 60 cadence. You have 30 seconds to go. This recovery is going to be shorter, 1.5 minutes. So the recovery, or active recovery, 6 out of 10 is where you're bringing it down, but you're really kind of still group ride speed, still putting in a decent amount of pressure on the pedals. In 10 seconds, we're going to back the gear off. We're going to bring the cadence somewhere over 90. In 3, 2, 1. Let's get on it. 1.5 minutes. On. Get right there. As soon as you're feeling like you're a little bit recovered, recover and take a drink. Not just about hydration. Sometimes it makes us just feel good, having a little slug of water and teaching us to ride when we're not just kind of sitting on the side of the road and having a drink when we're completely relaxed. When you're trying to drink, breathing hard, pushing hard, it's a totally different thing. And you're gonna need to do that if you're riding in groups, if you're racing events, riding events, Any of that. Trying to meet someone for a coffee date, not be late. Okay, you've got 30 seconds. Recover, recover. And start bringing the cadence down again. We want to be there just over 10 seconds. So I'm going to start dropping back to 60. Bring it down. Going in under 10. Bring my gear up. I want to be 8 out of 10 at least. A little bit more. In 2, 1, and here we go. Settle in. This is 3 minutes again. Crank up that Spotify list or your own list. Focus on big, smooth pedal strokes. Come on now. This is getting stronger. This is getting stronger. Every time, finish one of these. A little harder to recover, but you got this. You got 2.5 minutes right here. Good job. 8 out of 10 or a little bit more, over your 85%. For those of you who ride with us, know your numbers, or for someone who's worked with numbers, maybe not hours, this is over your FTP, okay? Working from a max aerobic power, 100%, and this is around 85. So you're definitely building lactic acid. You have 2 more minutes here. Good. Come on. Keep it strong. Keep it smooth. Really good. Almost at halfway. Turn it over. Turn it over. Come on. Okay. That's 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds. What's that end up being? 180 squats? No, I'm sorry, that's 3 minutes. 90 squats. Oh my gosh. That's a bit of a bonehead comment. 90 seconds, 90 squats. Stay with it. All right, on to our last minute. Come on, push, push. Hold that core really steady. Breathe. Go back to technique. How are the circles? How are the circles? Come on. Squeeze it out. 20 to 30% more power with a good, smooth, clean 360 degrees. Awesome. Getting close now. Almost at that 30 seconds that I love to count down from. Gives me a feeling of, basically, I can do it. Feeling of doability. All right, coming out to 15 to go. Come on, stay with it. Strong, smooth. Think of someone you always refer to as strong. This is where they come in. 10 seconds, a little bit less. We're going to that 60% again. Minute and a half. In 3, 2, 1. Get that cadence. Recover, recover. Where you're the most comfortable. Over 90 cadence. Good. Remembering that your maximum power capability does not just come from the gear. It comes from the gear and the rate at which you can turn it. And then that becomes something that personalized a little bit along a sliding scale halfway through our recovery. A little bit along a sliding scale. You're gonna find those sweet spots. Sprinters work on that a lot. Finding their perfect combinations where they can just explode maximum power. If you're overgeared, you've seen it happen. You can't get the turnover, can't get the power. Likewise, and I refer to some mountain bikers who will turn over too high a cadence, can't get enough gear, and are missing that extra bit. 10 seconds. This one's 2 minutes. All right? Slow the cadence down. Bring the gear up. 2 minutes long. And then we have our last minute. Okay? Settle into it. If you can now, a little bit more than that. 85%, 10 watts, 20 watts. There's nothing to save it for now. Let's try and push those squats. This is our final lift. 120 of them. On, big push. 30 seconds, 90 seconds to go. I think I got a little bit more in me. Go for it. Come on, guys. Last minute, so you're 60%. Okay? Almost at halfway. Come on, you got this. Think you can. Think you can. I train, challenging ourselves, leaving it out there sometimes, learning how many matches we have. You always want to finish on your last match. One match left over, or two, and you're always like, oh, I could have done more. One or two too few, and that's a different story. That's ugly too. All right, coming into our last 30 seconds. Come on. Focus, focus. Get yourself through this. Right past the finish of this steep pitch, 1 minute on a false flat afterwards. I'm getting a little excited. Let that cadence go back down. 15 seconds. Come on. Hold on to it. 10. Awesome job. Come on. Push, 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 push. 5, 3, 2, not letting it go. Cadence, 60%. Come on. This is a follow through. Come on. Recover, recover. Less than a minute. Hold that cadence. Hold that 6 out of 10. Halfway, 30 seconds to go. If you can, lift it up a bit. Higher cadence. Finish it off true, come on. Just about 15 to go. Awesome job. You got it, come on. Push, push, push. Right to the end, right to the end. 10. Come on. I'm not gonna let you go off easily. In 5, 3, 2, and done. Good job. Back the gear off. Recover, recover. Okay. So, my breath back a little bit. Doing that wind up at a high cadence kind of tops it off there, right? So, I was saying in the beginning, some of us find strength lots of times in the classes. We have people that go, oh yeah, that was good. I could hit all my numbers right on. And if you're good at it, it's great. It's a nice reinforcing workout. If you're not, don't fret. You're good at something else. But you want to learn all these different parts of your riding capability, improve where you're weaker, and spend some time where you're good, put it together in different scenarios, and you'll be a better biker. And don't forget, look for workout 4 coming up. It'll be another change up. We'll have our skills and drills as well. A few different ideas for your warm up and for your easy days, because you need easy days. Don't do hard workouts every single day, and get outside while you can. All right, that's a wrap.